I inherently believe what drives people to excellence and ignites their passion through purpose. This is what Dr. Johanna Pagonnis says, who is the owner of the leadership consulting firm, Sinogap Solutions. He has 20 years experience in leadership and organizational development gained throughout her professional and academic career. Dr. Johanna and her firm specialize in developing employee engagement and leadership strategies that will transform people into confident and capable employees that achieve excellence and are a source of strategic value. It's very interesting because today we have Dr. Johanna as a guest, and my question is to her that having all this, I mean, knowing that she can give people away all the love and everything to be good at and how do they work and everything that aligns with their purpose and the mission to this organization. Is this based only on her education as a doctor, or she brought in, not as Dr. Johanna, as the woman, the female, the human being with her conscience and her experience to build her own empire? Welcome, Dr. Johanna. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. Thank you. How are you?
Welcome to my show. And I forgot to say, I'm Nataly Restokian, and welcome to my show. You can do it. So we congratulate you, Dr. Johanna.
Thank you.
It's amazing what you've done.
Oh, thank you. And I'm still trying to do it.
Well, you're doing amazingly. So what can you tell us about everything which is happening like in your organization, and how much Johanna, the woman, is a part of this success?
Well, I think that's a good question. I think I started the business. So I've been working for, I've worked in all the different sectors, from private, public, nonprofit, and most recently for the government of Alberta. And I was working there for nearly a decade. And I started to realize that I wanted to do things differently. And I really wanted to work for myself. Having my own business was something I always imagined having. And I think one of the reasons why I went to school was so I could get the confidence through that credibility of having that degree, having like a doctorate, and having a lot of the experience that I gained through doing research and studying a little bit more about what it takes to transform organizations into systems that are productive and engaging. So I went back to school for that. And then I realized it was time for me to go off on my own, which was a little bit scary. But, you know, you talked about, you said a couple of things that resonated with me, you know, about purpose. You used the word purpose. And I think I started to realize that I wasn't living my purpose. I felt like I was just going through the motions of going to work every day. I felt a little bit like a hamster or a rat in a maze, following the motions, like following those motions every day, trying to find the cheese, driving to work, driving home. And I felt like I started to lose my purpose. And I thought I went back to school for a reason. I went back to school because I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to start my own business, and I wanted to make a difference in people's lives. And I felt like I wasn't getting that necessarily near the end of my career with the government. And so in 2019, I decided it was time.
I don't want to just cut you off from the story that you're telling me, because it's very interesting, but I just want to ask you, I mean, a lot of women we see out there that they do every day, like you say, they drive to work and come back, they do this and come back. But I mean, what is the wake-up call? I mean, in your situation, let's give an example. I mean, do they have to search for the wake-up call? It comes because they feel that it's a mission or it's a vocation. How does it work?
Yeah, I like how you said the wake-up call, because for the longest time, so a friend of mine had her own business for almost a decade. And I kept saying, I'll know when the time comes for me. I'll know when the time comes, when I have to do my own thing. And I kept waiting for, I guess, a wake-up call, and not knowing what it would look like or feel like when it came. And then I would say early in 2019, I had accepted a promotion. It was just a temporary position to get an understanding of what the position was going to be like, but it was a promotion. And I thought that was where I wanted to go, at least for the near future. I wanted to get another promotion. I wanted to be, work my way up towards executive leadership and do that for a bit before I started my own business. And then I remember waking up one day in the middle of the night. It was 3 a.m. and I had
How did you wake up? I mean, a dream?
No, I woke up and I couldn't actually sleep.
You usually wake up at night?
Well, actually, it's kind of funny you say that, because for the longest time, I was waking up every day at 3 a.m. with some thoughts and ideas.
This is a very important story. I mean,
yeah.
Go back. So for a period of time, you're waking up, so it as if the wake up call is coming, but you're going back to sleep. Can we say like that?
Yeah, you know what? It was literally a wake up call. I think when I started with government of Alberta, I would wake up at 3 a.m., but I was excited because I would have so many thoughts and ideas that I couldn't wait.
What to do to the government of Alberta, how to serve them, right? How to help them, not something to do for your own. That's why you woke up. So it's happening at the same period of time when you had this wake up call, this period of time?
Well, no, initially the wake-up calls that I was having, if you will, at 3 a.m., they were good wake-up calls. They were like, I was excited. I have an idea.
So you woke up, you had an idea.
And I would brainstorm and I would go to work and implement. But last year, my wake-up call wasn't an exciting wake-up call. I woke up at 3 a.m. anxious and I had a panic attack. Yeah, so in the past, it was excitement, joy, I had an idea, something inspired me. Sometimes my best ideas literally come in the middle of the night. But this one was not a positive one. It was, oh my God, I'm making the wrong decision. I don't want this promotion. This isn't my path. I don't feel like I'm following my purpose anymore. And it was a hard wake-up call because I was so anxious because I was like, I have to make a decision. Do I continue to follow this path that I feel like is so wrong that I'm having a panic attack? Or do I make a change? And I decided to make a change. I took my name, I withdrew from that position, decided to go back to my regular position. And from that point on, I started to make changes in my life to work towards eventually starting my own business.
Do you think that the wake-up call comes to women and to girls or to anybody? I mean, I'm just concentrating on women because like we are born most of the time, and though we have this power and Me Too movement and our rights, but in a way like, oh, you are a woman, period. Now we're rising, I know, and it's amazing. But do you think that this wake-up call should happen to every woman, could happen to every woman, and in case has to happen to every woman, how does Dr. Johanna can help them to realize that they could have this wake-up call? Because we just want our audience to learn from Dr. Johanna, because I mean, most of the time I look at you and I see this person who had transformed 180 degrees and changed her life because she had to and she wanted to. But somebody would say, she's a doctor, because she had education. I say, no, stop. Let Johanna Pagonnis tell us if they can choose to have this wake-up call, change their mindset, or some of them are only chosen to have this wake-up call. What are you saying?
No, yeah, that's a very good point. It's a very good question. No, I don't think anybody's chosen. I think we choose it. I do. And I think you and I are very similar in this type of mindset. That we decide, we always choose, right? When people say, I don't have a choice, you actually do have a choice. And so when you say, I had to do this because I didn't have a choice, you actually did choose by doing that. So I think we all have a choice. And we all experience a wake-up call at some point in our life.
How does it happen? How does it happen? You say that we experience a wake-up call. You mean in your case, it happened like you were just waking up every night to do something to the government of Alberta in a good way. But one night you woke up in a way that you say you were anxious. So it might come in an anxious way, or what else? Let's clarify everything, like make it simpler for everybody. How can it come in other ways? Let's give other examples. How can a woman have a wake-up call to change her life?
Well, I think it's not necessarily how it comes to them. I think it's more about the thinking that's going through their minds. Like for me, yeah, it was a panic attack in the middle of the night. Not everybody will experience that, but it's what led me to have the panic attack. For the longest time, I felt like, and I guess that's what it is. I felt like I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I felt like I could do something more.
Even though you were waking up okay and excited every night, still, you were not happy, or you thought that it was not enough?
Well, I felt like that point in my career, which is like, I'm talking several years ago, I was happy. I wasn't ready to start my own business yet, because I felt like I had a lot of learning to do. I wanted to experience being in a senior leadership role a bit more. I wanted to understand what it was to lead larger teams within a complex organization. I wanted to have more experience in transforming teams and organizations. And at that time, I was able to do that in the position I was in. And I wanted to finish my PhD. I knew that there was a lot of learning that would come from that. And so I felt like I was working towards my goal. So a long time ago, I realized I want to start my own business. These are some of the things I want to do to eventually get myself there. And then I stopped listening to myself. That's what happened to me. And I think this is maybe other women.
What do you mean when you say
stop listening?
Yes.
I put on the blinders, if you will, and I just started living in a maze, in a rat maze. I just started
that you choose to do so?
Doing the same thing over and over again.
I'm not jumping into assumptions like as a coach. I'm not gonna think like a coach.
But
was it an assumption that that's something you should do, or you oblige yourself because out of fear, out of what?
Yes, totally. Out of habit, out of comfort, and out of fear for the unknown.
But how can you be in comfort when you know that you're not where you should be? How could women be at comfort where they are? And how do you connect these words? I mean, I think that's most of the time when we just connect the word habit and comfort, they're not related to each other, right? Because they are unhappy, but this is my life. This is what they say, right, women?
Yeah. And you know what? It's kind of funny that people can be very unhappy, but it's comfortable and not comfortable, because comfort doesn't equal happiness. Comfort, I think, is about not taking a risk. It's about always knowing what to expect.
Wow.
Right? When we're comfortable, we know what's going to happen. When we're comfortable, we're in a routine. We know what we need to do, and by doing ABC, what the outcome will be. It's comfortable because we know it, and we've fallen into a routine and a habit.
So you're saying that this is what I get. This is what I was trying to get out, from you. Because a lot of women I see, they are unhappy. Even if they're not happy, I mean, their everyday life is related to tick, 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 tack. You know what I mean? I love doing this kind of, interviews, just very open and comfortable in my own way. Even though I didn't open everything and fix the decoration, because we don't care. We care about the subject more. So, the thing that we thrive, but where are you thriving? What are you thriving for? They're like, okay, I need the kids. It's a commitment. They are just confused between commitment and between the customs of their country and engagement and responsibilities, and the fear to step out of it. They might become a revolutionary person and be blamed by the society, if we want to say it's the society.
Sure,
and the thing is that this beacon of hope, this beacon of light that they could follow, it's like, no, what can I do? Okay, fine, I'm divorced, I will take care of my kids. What can I do? I married this one, he's my destiny. What can I do? I came here, this is my life. This is everyday words we hear from people, and they talk in the past. Dr. Johanna Pagonnis, what is your advice to these women out there?
Well, I'm going to be careful with the advice, because I think I never want to encourage somebody to do something that they're not ready to do, but something that I would encourage them to think about, if they're thinking like, I want to make a difference, I want to do something different. I think sometimes we stay in a situation that we're not happy in because we know what the outcome will be. If we try to do something different, there's an outcome that is unknown to us. And sometimes that fear of not knowing what the outcome will be will actually paralyze us and stop us from venturing outside of our comfort zone. But I heard a wonderful TED Talk, and it was called Why Comfort Will Ruin Your Life. Because when we're comfortable, we don't necessarily take a risk, like I said, because we're afraid of what the unknown is. But if we actually try something new and learn from that experience, that's a reward. Even if we've made a mistake, even if we venture outside of our comfort zone, we try something that didn't necessarily work out the way we thought it would, we still learned something from that experience. And if we can embrace the fact that I'm going to do this to learn something new, that can actually go a long way in increasing our confidence. But there's something else that I need to say. Another thing that helps us, so confidence, having the confidence in yourself that you can do it. Your show's called You Can Do It. So you have to believe in yourself that you can do it. Like I said, I believed I could have my own business, but there were certain things I needed to do for myself to give me the confidence. I went back to school. I sought out job positions that would give me the experience I needed to gain the confidence to eventually do it. I met with other women entrepreneurs to learn from their mistakes and their successes to give me the confidence. So these were the things that I did as an individual to get the confidence. But there's another thing that's important, especially for the women on your your viewers and listeners, is the support network is critical. If you have a support network, like a spouse, a partner, children, friends, who will encourage you and support you even if you fail, it becomes a little bit easier to take a risk. And so I've had partners that were not supportive at all and made it harder for me to take a risk. But currently my husband, we had lots of conversations about me starting my own business, and there was fear from both of us, right? You're not going to get a regular income anymore. You have to work harder to get your income. You may, things like that. How are we going to pay our bills if you have a terrible month? So, but he was so supportive. It made it easier for me to take the risk. Now, if I was married to somebody who was a complete jerk, it may have been a lot harder, and I probably would leave him. But I'm not giving that as advice. Everybody, to each their own, they have to decide. But so there's two things that are required. As a woman, I think you have to think about and develop the confidence internally that you can do it, and that you reach out to the people in your lives that love and support you and ask them for support.
So we're literally saying that this change in women could not happen if we don't have the support from people around us who believe in us, right?
I believe that. I think go ahead.
Yeah, because I just look at a lot of people who are just have a lot of support, and many people who have no support, or people do not understand what they're doing, but they are born motivated. Mm-hmm. What do you have to say about these kind of women? What's the difference between these two? So these women, once they stop having motivation and support from others, they will stop doing what they do. Do we have to have that?
No. And I mean, when I say support, you don't need to necessarily have 20 people with pom-poms cheering behind you.
Yeah, like my husband. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I said to him,
sometimes you just need one person.
He's like, it's good. He doesn't get it, whatever I'm doing. He's in his own world, which it's amazing. I mean, I cannot live without him. So, but the thing is that I feel like, I don't know if I'm trying to bring in my opinion, not as a coach now, not as a journalist, as a show host. I'm just sharing this idea with you, doctor. Like, do you think in some ways also, like, having someone not standing in your way,
yes,
it's support enough?
Yes, sometimes that's all you need. I agree.
That's what I say, right?
Yeah. And you know what? There will be always somebody who may stand in your way, but you know who that person is most of the time? Yourself. So I think we stand in our own way more than anybody else. And we find excuses to not do things all the time. And maybe as women, that's kind of built into us, because like you said, we have a role that we've been born to play. We've been bred to play. And that when you want to venture outside of that role a little bit, it's a bit, uncomfortable and scary, and we stand in our own way. So you said motivation is a huge thing. So there's an internal source of motivation and an external source of motivation. And I think as women, we have to find that internal source, which links back to your purpose. What is it that you are meant to do in this world? Why do you want to do it? What's the legacy that, not only the legacy you want to leave behind when you're dead, but the legacy you want to live while you're alive? And if you can find that purpose, it will sustain you and support you even during the most difficult times. And even when you stand in your own way, you go back to that purpose, you remember what it is, and you can keep moving forward.
Amazing. We are going to talk more about these wake-up keys and the wake-up calls. And for me, these are keys because they are the key that open the doors to life. And they don't have to be like doors like Alice in Wonderland. And we are going to talk about more about the motivation that women should listen to their calls and what might be stopping them in our second episode, which we are going to post. And I thank you so much for being with us today, Dr. Johanna Pagonnis. Thank you so much. And if you have, guys, any comments, any questions, please do not worry. We will always be there for you and we'll always reply back. We will never let you down. And more to come. What is your legacy as a woman, as a girl, as a female in this world, and what it means to you to change your life? We are going to talk more and dig deeper and deeper. Why? We have Dr. Johanna. What else we want? We're going to get the best out of her. So wish everybody a wonderful day. And if Dr. Johanna can do it, you can do it. So in our first episode, what do you have to say?
Just believe
I said it all, eh? I stole the idea.
You said it all. Oh my God, Nataly said it perfectly. Yeah. You know what? Start with thinking about what your purpose is. Start there.
Start thinking about your own purpose till we see you with the second episode with Dr. Johanna Pagonnis next time. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.